With exclusive licenses and patents for treatment of the Rona, is Halberd the next Tesla of the medical industry? Let's find out. Welcome to Focus on Investing, where we focus on investing. Today, we're going to be taking a review of Halberd. You know how we do here. We like to give people their propers. So let's bring up our comment screen. And our comment or our request today was brought to us by Brian once again. Brian requested that we do IFXY. If you haven't seen, we've got this review already up on our channel, so go to our channel and check this out. He also recommended HALB, which we're doing today, and he mentioned that CYBL is a beast. We also have 2 videos on CYBL on our channel, so if you haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out. All right, today we're going to be looking at HALB. So let's bring up the screen and let's get into our review. All right, if you haven't done so already, if there's a stock that you would like us to review or to check out, you can leave it in the comments and we'll do our best to try and get to the review for you. All right, let's bring up this page now. So this is Halberd Corporation. This is their homepage at halberdcorporation.com. And let's start checking out. Let's get into some of the fundamentals and see what they're all about. So it says, moving forward, Halberd Corporation, HALB, patented extracorporeal treatments is applicable to many hard to cure bloodborne and neurological diseases, including C19, other viruses, PTSD, cancer, etc. Okay, so we've got to be a bit careful around certain words, as the tubes don't like us using certain words. So yeah, we're going to have to get creative when mentioning this word, but we understand what it means. View all intellectual property. I might come back to that. View ASU research agreement. Um, C19. Okay, all the text is the same. It's just showing different images representing different. We all know what this is: PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and they're showing people from the army here or the military services. So essentially, PTSD is, you know, if you go for a very traumatic um, situation with stress, you can get, you know, mental effects for that as well. But they're saying that there's is extracorporeal treatment applicable to bloodborne diseases. So I didn't know that PTSD was bloodborne. Um, if you know the connection between PTSD and bloodborne diseases, put it in the comments. Or maybe it's add neurological diseases. So maybe it falls more onto the neurological side of things. All right. CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Um, as far as and I'm not a medical doctor, so as far as I'm aware, this is basically when you, because of people in what they would call football, or we would call American football. There's it's a very high contact sport with a lot of collisions to the head. It does cause like brain injuries because of the high impact. And then we have cancer. I'm sure most people are familiar with cancer and what cancer is. All right. The headline says CEO Spotlight. Bill Hartman on how YSU motivated him to become the president of CEO Halberd Corporation. And they got a video here. We won't play that. But it said Halberd Corporation has acquired exclusive licenses to 2 issued patents and 4 provisional patent applications related to the extracorporeal treatment of bloodborne diseases and cerebrospinal fluid related diseases, with particular focus on the treatment of rapid detection of the and other viruses. The, the issued patents extracorporeal technology as applicable to significant numbers of the most de- debilitating and often fatal illnesses affecting mankind: PTSD, CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, and cancer, among others. We have developed an aggressive timeline to advance the development of these breakthrough technologies through laboratory, hospital, and clinical trials. In addition, we have initiated the development of potential patient trial application list. Our management team has extensive experience and contacts in the medical pharmaceutical field, as well as a demonstrated track record of launching new business ventures in a competitive environment. So it says their profile. Halberd Corporation is a fully reporting issuer under the Securities Exchange Act of 1934, listed under HALB on OTC Pink. And we'll take a look at that in a minute. It says mission. Our goal is to complete the development of treatments that address a significant number of most highly visible international health issues. And then Newswire says, oh, check out latest Newswire, blah, blah, blah. Halberd Corporation fact sheet. A brief overview of Halberd's significant accomplishment and recent developments. It says proprietary sequential dialysis technique, a methodology that physically removes the pathophysiologic basis of the disease. The company's proprietary sequential dialysis technique is a methodology that physically removes the pathophysiologic basis of the disease, eliminating it without dangerous side effects. Superior to current treatments, which eliminates the presence of most illnesses, but often with catastrophic or even fatal side effects. Subtractive therapy, removal of harmful molecules, reduces risks associated with conventional additive therapy, adding chemicals to the body, targets and similar viral diseases initially, with future efforts to develop treatments for Alzheimer's disease, PTSD, traumatic brain injury, and cancer. All right, that sounds interesting. So, for those of you who don't know what dialysis is, so dialysis is typically used as a treatment that replaces your kidneys. When people have kidney failure, they do dialysis, which is essentially a machine that represents your kidneys. Now, what do your kidneys do for your body? Your kidneys actually filter your blood. They act like a filter and filter out the toxins and the waste from your blood, right? So when your kidneys fail, you have no ability to filter toxins and waste out of your blood, out of your blood, and therefore the toxins and waste build up in your body, and it can be fatal, right? So dialysis is the process of filtering the blood externally through a machine, right? So what they're basically saying is they've designed a sequential dialysis technique that allows them to target these diseases, right? So instead of it being an additive process, as they say, adding chemicals to the body. So let's say, for instance, chemo. Everybody knows that chemo is radiation, right? And when they add these things to your body, chemo not only targets the cancer, but it also affects other areas of your body and causes side effects and causes other damages, right? So that's they're saying this is additive treatment, right? Or additive therapy, as they've listed it here, right? Because they're adding something to your body in order to cure you. Or what they're saying is they can use their chemo technique, which is basically filtering the bad stuff, for lack of a better word, out of your body rather than adding something. So it's a subtractive process rather than an additive process. So, and obviously they're saying it causes less side effects because you're not adding extra things to your body, but you're removing the bad things from your body. You're removing, waste, or it's not waste, it's like pathogens. Let's just use the word bad things for now. All right. So we're going to go and look at viewer patterns in a minute, but let's stay on the home page for now. Halberd News, press releases and updates of our medical breakthroughs. So let's have a look at what their medical breakthroughs are at the moment. Halberd demonstrates precise control of key cancer-related T cell proteins. T is a T cell protein which can be used by tumor cells to fool the body's immune system. All right, so they can control these proteins that are used by tumors in cancer. Okay, they got NFL Retired Players Association endorses Halberd brain injury treatment technology. So they received a letter of endorsement from Carl Eller, president of the NFL Retired Players Association. for treatment of CTE. Okay. And then the last one is Halberd Corp launches Halberd Cancer Therapeutics Limited, wholly owned subsidiary. Demonstrated the capacity for successful application of a wide variety of diseases and health-related illnesses. For now, the new entity will be staffed. What goes on to sport. Okay, very interesting. So they're doing a lot of work around the medical field, and sounds like they're pioneering a lot of new technology, especially around cancer and these brain injury treatments. Let's go and view their patents. All right, they got to view all patents. Let's view their patents here. So this is under science. So I think these are all of their patents. Method for treating and curing infection. Method for treating inflammatory cytokine storm for the reduction of morbidity and mortality in the patients. Method for treating and curing infections by utilizing a laser to eradicate the virus. Damn. Nasal spray to prevent the transmission of almost said it between humans. Utilization of stents for the treatment of bloodborne carcinomas, and sequential extracorporeal treatment of bodily fluids. Yeah, I think that just is more details of it. Or maybe, oh, this is ones that I issued. Okay, issued patents. Sequential extracorporeal treatment of bodily fluids and utilization of stents for the treatment of bloodborne carcinomas. And they've got the patent numbers here if you want to look into more details about what they are. So this is their intellectual property. They have blood sepsis and viremia, cancer, fibromyalgia, and multiple sclerosis. Let's give a quick flick through. I won't read through all of them. Okay. See what they got for the cancer. Talking about various solutions for cancer. What's another one? Fibromyalgia. Talking about conventional method of treatment and their new technique that they've developed. And then MS. Okay, interesting. Let's go back to the home page. There was something here. I wanted to view intellectual property, the ASU research agreement. What is this? Industry sponsored research agreement, fixed price. This sponsored agreement is made between Arizona Board of Regents for and behalf of Arizona State University. So they've got some kind of agreement with Arizona State University for research. The piece to be sponsored, so I don't know how that works, but we're not going to read through this. They have some kind of intellectual property agreement from the performance. Maybe anything that ASU discovers, they have a claim to. Scope of work, possible products. So could we just say a series of meetings and discussions, project granted patents, patent application, rapid test to identify infections. All right, so it seems like they've partnered with the university to find, ways of rapidly testing the Ronas. All right, let's go back and then let's look at finally at the board they have. Where is it? Board of Directors. Let's take a look at the news. We had a quick look at some of the news before. Yeah, we saw the endorsements that they had. Halberd's antibody effective against all the Rona mutations, including Omarion. Halberd Corporation updates CEO letter. Halberd creates a subsidiary to apply its patented technology to treat cancer. Halberd Corp and Mississippi State University discuss animal testing as a prelude to FDA certification. So they're going for FDA certification. There's only a few more left. Halberd successfully eliminates excess levels of inflammatory cytokines. Halberd engages professional firm to proceed with FDA filing. Professional firm, excuse me. And Halberd submits audited financials, files Form 10 as first step to uplist to OTC QB, over the counter. What does QB stand for? I don't know. It's not written here. All right. And then let's look at our board of directors to see who we've got on Halberd's board of directors. So we had meet the Halberd Corporation's board of directors. We have William A. Hartman is our chairman of the board of directors, president, and chief executive officer. From March 2008 until May 2020, Mr. Hartman was president and CEO of Premier Biomedical Inc. From October 2006 to March 2008, Mr. Hartman was the chief operating officer of Nanologics Inc. From July 1991 to July 2000. Mr. Hartman was a director of TRW Automotive from 1984 to 1991. Mr. Hartman was chief engineer at TR Automotive from 1979 to 1984. He was division quality compliance manager at Ford Motor Company. Okay, so it appears that he's got a background in the automotive industry and then later on in the biomedical. Why this is interesting is because if you know about Ford Motor Company and a lot of these car companies, they're very good in terms of production and process. So anything to deal with production and process is usually, something that the automotive industry is very good at. At TRW Automotive, Mr. Hartman was one of the auto industry pioneers of the concept of grouping related components into systems and modules and shipping just in time to the vehicle assembly plant. See, what did I say? I didn't even know that, but you see, I know about the automotive industry and how tight and how much, mastering the production process is key to the success of their companies. He founded and headed a separate business group with TRW Automotive, with plants in the US, Mexico, and Europe, with combined annual sales of 1.3 billion. Academic credentials include BSME degree from Youngstown State University and MSIA degree, Industrial Administrative Management, from the University of Michigan. So that's William A. Hartman. I won't read this, I just read the first paragraph. John S. Borza, PE, MBA, VMA, is our Chief Operating Officer and a member of the Board of Directors. Prior to May 2020, Mr. Borza was Executive Vice President and a member of Premier Biomedical's Board of Directors. Okay. And the last one is Heidi H. Carl is our Accounting Director and a member of our Board of Directors from 2009 to May 2020. Miss Carl was the Chief Financial Officer and board member of Premier Biomedical Inc. Okay, so they have medical backgrounds. All right, let's take a look at what they're saying on OTC. Let's check them out. Remember, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, hit that like button. If you'd like to support this channel, you can hit our Cash App. Our Cash App is at the bottom, # focus on investing. All right, this is OTC Markets, ticker symbol HALB, which is Halberd Corporation. Overview. It says, warning, limited information. OTC Markets Group has confirmed that this company had limited disclosure of the financial information publicly available, but meets the minimum requirement for public quoting under Rule 15C2-11. The pink limited information tier may include companies that are delinquent in their filing obligations with the SEC, a foreign exchange or regulator under the pink disclosure guidelines, as well as non-US companies listed under foreign exchanges that do not require English disclosure and do not certify their compliance with the SEC Rule 12G3-2B. Okay, so that might be something you might want to look more into as to the reason why they're filing limited information. I don't know if that would affect the validity of their investment or not, but maybe that's something, if you do decide to go ahead and invest in, you might want to check out a bit more. You can see the current price is 0.0107, up 0.0003. We're going to look at the charts in a minute and the technicals. So look at the latest news. We've seen Halberd demonstrates precise control of key cancer-related T-cell protein. NFL Retired Players Association endorses Halberd brain injury treatment technology, and Halberd Corp launches Halberd Cancer Therapeutics, wholly owned subsidiary. We will know about this. Filings and disclosure, file type 1012GA, and a court report, supplemental information, disclosure for the 3 months ending April 30th, 2022. So the up to date with their filings. Company description, we know mostly about that. So it wasn't really much we found out on OTC. We found most of it on their website. Let's see if they got anything under quote. Okay. See company profile. They've been audited. Latest report of 0430. A lot of CEO, CFO, EVP, a lot of consultants. Okay, just giving us a bit more information about the company. Security details. Okay, their market cap is 5.5 million. Sorry. Authorized shares, outstanding shares, what their float is, par value. Okay, they changed their symbol. Used to be HALBE to HALB. News. Okay, we've read the news. Financials. Okay, you can take a look at their financials there. Disclosure. Just their filings. Research. No research. All right. Let's get into the technicals. Let's pull up our trading view. And then let's look at some of these charts. Here we go here. All right, this is Trading View. This is Halberd Corp, ticker symbol HALB. This is our focus on investing template with our full screen setup. You also will see that we have our custom indicators on screen as well. We also have our part of our custom indicators is our trend filter, which filters out some of the bars or candlesticks. So it will add a filter on the bars or candlesticks depending on whether the trend is actually bullish or bearish. If it's bullish, it'll be green. If it's bearish, the trend filter would be red. If you want to get access to our templates and any of our indicators, go to focusoninvesting.io. There you can get access to all of the templates and the indicators, and also additional tools to help you analyze stocks for yourself. And we also have a investment syllabus that will teach you how to analyze stocks and investments for yourself. All right, so let's get into this. Let's start off firstly with the monthly time frame. we look at the monthly time frame, we always like to take a zoom out and look at the overall history of a stock. We can see here, as always, we notice whenever we get our, our market offering, our initial market offering, you will see that there's usually a lot of volatility in the market. So massive spike, price reached all the way up to 0.17499, massive candlestick and a long wick to the downside. And then the next candle you can see is a lot smaller, but it still has a massive wick. Both came down to the 0.1028 level. Then we had some kind of, minor price activity, few spikes, spiked up and then came back down, spiked up and came back down, spiked up and came back down. And you usually find that this happens when, you know, as we spoke earlier of this big spike is all of those people that usually got paid in stock to work on the project. When it gets issued into the market, they cash in and it pumps the price up. So everybody that been wanting to buy stock buys it. Everybody that wants to be exiting exits, and then you get a massive tank. And then as word comes out about this stock, new people buy, then more people cash out. New people buy, more people cash out. New people buy, more people cash out. So you get a bit of turbulence in the beginning, and then it settles down for a while, goes flat for a while, and then we come more into recent times. So this was when was the issuance? It was on 1st of June 2009. So 2019 is like 10 years later. And then after that is now when we're getting all of this activity. And notice we're getting this activity mostly around the Rona time. This is the Rona era, right? February, March 2020. Bang, you see the spark comes back in. You're starting to seeing price activity. Price is spiking up quite wildly as well. Went all the way up to, this looks to be our high. Let me draw our high level. Yeah, around the 0.10990 area. That was our high. So we had a massive spike, and this took place March 2021. So a year from the Rona is when we got our spike, and then price came all the way back down again. If we look to see our round number, we have a round number of 100 here. None of the real round numbers really affecting price. Maybe 5. No, I wouldn't even say. It's not really a definitive hard line. Maybe here-ish. You could maybe draw a line here. You can see the top of all of these wicks top of all these candles kind of lining up around this area. The bottom of this candlestick as well lines up here. Top of this wick around this sort of area seems to be a level of support and resistance. Nothing too strong, nothing too crazy. And then since that time, we've seen a decline in price. If we look at on the monthly level, we can see that we've got a pivot level here. Not really much, a small amount of effect. If we draw it in, we see a small amount of effects on these bars here, on these candlesticks here. A little effect here. We've got a few more pivot levels here on the lower level. As we've had such small price activity, you're going to get a lot of clusters of pivots low down to the ground because of this lot of activity on a low level. Let's clean this up a bit, remove these lines. We can see, previous year's high would obviously be from this spike. The low of this year, we're kind of trading at this year's current low. Let's go and see the weekly time frame. Let's reset our chart. Let's bring it closer. So if we look at our weekly time frame, we can see that the trend filter, as we spoke before, is red, meaning that price action is bearish at the moment. We see that price is trading below our 50 simple moving average and our 200 simple moving average, which basically means that it's trading lower than the average price over 50 days and over 200 days. If we look And because of this, there's been a lot of movement over this Rona period. We've got a lot of printed, new highs and spikes and things like this. And this has caused a lot of pivot levels to show up. So we have one here, 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 and here. So we've got quite a few pivot levels above price. And what happens is these pivot levels act as a level of support and resistance of varying strengths, right? So, the more pivot levels you have above, the harder it is for price to rise. The more you have below, the harder it is for price to fall, right? So we're having a situation now where we're kind of trading around the ones to the downside, and we have a lot above us. So, for price to come back and reach these spikes that we've had previously, the big one being on the 22nd of March, we have to pass through all of these pivot levels in order to reach this spike. And remember, technical analysis and trading in general is about pattern recognition. What happened in the past is likely to happen in the future. So in the past, if prices stopped at a certain level, it's likely that on its way back up through these price levels, it's going to stop again. So if it's going to stop, it needs enough energy to pass through these barriers, right? So the more barriers, the more chance it has of stopping price rising and maybe giving an opportunity to turn around. So if we're looking at where price is now to the downside, we can see that we're kind of trading around a lot of these lower pivot levels. If we look at where the red line is, just about around this pivot level of 0.012. And remember, these levels are not hard price levels, they're zonal areas, right? So we can see that because of all of these pivot levels to the downside, price is struggling to kind of break out of this. But it's quite a strong, solid level of support, because when price comes down, it always comes down to roughly the same area. The pullback, it spikes up, comes down to this level, spikes up, comes back down to this level, spikes up, comes back down to this level, to the point we've got to this level. We've kind of just fallen through that sort of level here. All right, so um where are we at? So yeah, I mean, we could say that we're somewhere between, we're 0.01. So we're hovering around 0.01 ish sort of level. That's kind of where it's kind of hovering around. The round numbers at 0.01. All right, let's take a look at the daily time frame. Let's reset our chart. And again, we can see we've got the red trend filter showing that price movement is bearish. Now, when we have our red trend filter on the weekly time frame and the red trend filter on the daily time frame, we have what we call correlation, meaning both the weekly and the daily time frames are showing bearish price trend. So we actually have a bearish trend on this stock. Now, sometimes you can have it where you have a red trend filter on the monthly but green on the daily, or you can have red on the daily and green on the monthly. That does happen as well. So when you have a correlation of both, it's kind of like a double confirmation of what price is actually doing. So we can see that price is currently trading at 0.017. We can see that price is actually up 2.88%. But on the previous day, it was down 8.05%. It's up 4.9% for the week. And for the month, it's down 14.49%. And you can see overall, over here, see overall price is on a downward slope. It's slowly going down. And again, this is evident by our red trend filter and just obviously by the shape of price. If we look at our moving averages, we can see that we're ordered 200 simple moving average above the 50 simple moving average, 50 simple moving average above 20 simple moving average, and 20 simple moving average above price. And they're all three of them angled down as well as price. So again, this is another bearish indicator. The alignment is a bear market alignment of trend filters, not trend filters, sorry, of moving averages, right? So this is kind of, again, further confirmation. The alignment, the angling, and the positioning of our moving averages, along with the trend filter and the correlation, it's all giving bearish trend signals, right, for this stock. So where are we looking for this stock to go? Well, the trend filter is definitely down. You know, we're trading quite low to the bottom. So if we look at now our pivot levels, we're currently trading. Well, the next pivot level is where? The next pivot level is here. So we can get a little bit more. Do we want the 1? Let's do the 2. Yeah, let's do a 2. All right, so we can definitely see price probably going down to this price point, which is, let me move it down slightly so we can get on our, let's just say there. So we're definitely looking at a 0.00, is that 2 zeros? Yes, 0092 price point. If we zoom out a bit more, because we're already below our bottom, right? So our support level is around here. I would say our support level is around here, and we're already below that support level, right? So let's see where else we have to go. We've got another level of support here. This level of support, and here, another one just below it, and then a further one below that. So we even have another strong one here. So we've got a few support levels below current price. So we can't even see it on, let's do that. So we've got a few levels we could be looking to target. So I think the first level that we're looking to target is here, the 0.0092. So where price is currently, we've got this sort of area to target. And we draw in our trend line, not our parallel channel. So I would say this area is where we initially would be targeting. And then if we made it to there, we would be looking at targeting. This is our first level. And then if we do make it to there, down to here. So I'll say that this would be our profit zones, as our trend is very bearish. We see price on a downward movement. I would say that this will be our first target, which is the 0.0092 level. Second target would be the 0.0045 level. And the third target would be the 0.004 level. All right. And we can see that, you know, price is down 76.739% from its high. So it's just an indication that price is continuing to go on its way down. So thank you for the request for this video. If you guys have any, you know, stocks that you would like me to analyze, don't forget you can put this in the comments as well. Also, check out all of our previously analyzed stocks for in-depth reviews, and we also do, you know, an overall stock market review of all of the most trending, hottest stocks going, and you can also check that out on our channel. All right, thank you for joining.